Thank you for tuning in. First off, I want to wish everyone a happy new year, and I hope your 2017 is off to a great start. One thing that we know for certain this year, in 2017, there's going to be a lot of progress on the drone mapping front. And I covered OpenDroneMap in a previous video, showed you guys some of the latest results. They're pretty incredible. And in this video, I want to talk through WebODM and just demonstrate the installation process, show you guys how to upload and get images processed. And this is definitely a project along with OpenDroneMap that I will be following closely in 2017. So let's go ahead and just take a look at an overview of WebODM. I'm at the GitHub repository. You can see that you can upload your own imagery, see the current status of the result set, some of the logging information here. When the job is complete, you'll actually see the geo-referenced imagery overlaid on a nice Google map. You have different layers that you can turn on and off, and we'll take a look at that here shortly. But before we get started, some of the things that you'll need are Docker. I'm currently running this on my iMac, as well as Python and Git. Now, I've been a big fan of Git from the command line. In this video, I'm going to be using GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop makes things so much easier. I've been trying to switch to this just to simplify my workflow a little bit. I'll go ahead and clone this using GitHub Desktop. We'll select Open in Desktop, we'll allow, and I will just put this in a default folder that I use for development. We'll begin the cloning process. We can see that that has completed. Here are some of the latest commits. I'm going to work off of the master branch. What I'll do now is I will open up my terminal, and let's go ahead and change into the WebODM directory. Now, I will mention that I am using this with Docker. You could use this natively if you wanted. Docker makes this super easy. I'm running it on my Mac. You'll have consistency whether you run it on Mac, Linux, or Windows if you're using Docker. This is a new iMac, so I'm going to go ahead and install pip, enter my password, and now that will go through the process of installing pip. Gone ahead and done that. I'll go back to my Docker compose command and let's see how that works. You can see that it's downloading various dependencies and going through this process. If your first go at setting up pip install with the Docker Compose gives you an error, you can see here that I received a permission denied error, then I went ahead and issued a sudo command. So you can put the sudo in front of there and you should be able to enter your password and get around the permission issue. So I've already have this installed. You can see that everything ran correctly. Now the next step is I will run the WebODM startup script with a start parameter. Let me go ahead and put a time in front of it so we can see how long that will take. And we'll go ahead and run that. Now I've run into my next error on this install, and I just want to continue to share this with you guys because sometimes these errors can be frustrating when you're working with open source software. So I tried to run the WebODM start command and then ran into this import error. And after some research, figured out the solution is to basically install the latest version of 6. So I've gone ahead and run that command. I'll go ahead and do it again just to show you guys. It'll go ahead and say successfully installed 6. Now we'll go back to our ODM. We'll time this start script, hit enter, and hopefully, yep, it looks like everything is working as expected. You'll see some status. For downloads, this will take quite some time. I'll cut back in a few when everything is ready. Okay, now our container has been built. It's up and running. The process took about an hour and 15 minutes. And your time will vary based on your connection speed and your processor. You can see that it downloaded a lot of dependencies, installed everything. It installed Node.js. Now it says that it's running on port 8000. So let's give this a try and see how everything works out. Okay, I'll go ahead and open a new tab, and WebODM is running on port 8000, so let's check. Everything looks good here. We'll go ahead and log in with the default username and password of admin and admin. Okay, we're logged in. Everything looks good here. We have a first project, which is just there by default. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and just create a new project relevant to our new imagery. So we'll call it Tiger Stadium. That's the name of the stadium where I took the imagery. And you can see we have our project. I'll go ahead and upload my images to that. You can see here that we have my 95, so I'll just select all of those, select open. You can see how quickly this is uploading. Now ultimately I'm running this on my local machine. If you were to run WebODM in the cloud, obviously this will be slower, but you can feel free to run it on Amazon AWS or any third-party cloud. Now we can see here that our status has changed to start processing. I'll go ahead and select that, and you can see our task. Now ultimately you can have many tasks, many processing nodes. I'll cover that in an upcoming video. Here you can see that ODM is now processing the imagery. This is normally what we would see in our console, but instead we have it in a nice web UI. While this is running, let's just take a quick look at our console in the background. This is where we ran the WebODM start script. You can see some information here. It shows that it's currently working on our task of ID 14. Now ultimately each time you create a new task, that will increment. We could always go over here, create a new project, and have that waiting in the queue for the next task to run. We can even add another task to this existing project. Our job is now complete. You can see that it took roughly an hour and 22 minutes. Let me go ahead and open the task. You can see a bunch of the log output here, all the steps that OpenDroneMap went through. Now here's the moment of truth. You can see down here or up here a view map. Here's a view orthophoto. I'll go ahead and click on this. And here you can see our orthophoto overlaid onto a Google base layer, which looks pretty awesome. And in a previous video I showed how to do this directly in OpenDroneMap, but now here we are looking at WebODM with the stitch and the orthophoto overlaid. So what I'll do next is just demonstrate a couple of really neat features. You can see that you can create measurements for distances and areas. So I've gone ahead and clicked that. Let's say that I want to just measure some of this field in a very rough manner. I'll go around the different corners, go over here, and then I'll click Finish Measurement. Go ahead and look at it. It says it's about 2 acres and gives us our perimeter. Also, if I were to click on the actual orthophoto, you can see there are different formats that I can use to download, and as well as over here for each task or photo that is stitched together, we'll have a list of them here so we can turn those on and off. You can see there is the previous, or I should say current Google imagery. You can turn it on there and see that is the job that we just completed. So WebODM is really exciting. In an upcoming video I'm going to cover some of these other areas of the tool, processing nodes, which would allow us to spin up multiple ODM instances and run in parallel if we wanted to do multiple jobs or potentially do that job faster. And by job I mean task. I hope this video was helpful. I've really enjoyed working with WebODM. I definitely plan on covering more of this in the near future. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them below. And until next time, thanks for watching.